Hi Flosstube and Instagram friends. Welcome back to my channel, Contented Needleworker Kim. Today is June 17, 2025, and this is Flosstube episode number 90. I have been sitting here for quite a while trying to gather my wits about me in order to start this video. I am feeling quite discombobulated. I will tell you, I'm organized. I have notes. But I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm feeling like I'm not really firing on all cylinders. As excited as I am to be here with you today, but we may get a little rambly. I don't edit, but I might splice if I can't quite get all my thoughts, my ducks in a row, as it were. But let's get started talking about stitchy stuff. I have a lot of stitching to share with you today. We have finishes, starts, and whips. I had debated, I talked before about deciding not to do a mid-year whip parade, only because there are so many things that I will be showing you that are in the exact same place that they were the one I did my whip parade the beginning of this year, or the end of last year, whichever one it was. I think part of that is because I have done a lot of starts, so I haven't gotten to some of the whips that I had planned on. And I've also been kind of focused a little bit in a certain way that has limited me in being able to be more just whatever I want to stitch on. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way either. It has kind of helped to be a little more focused. It's been fun. It's just been a fun challenge. And I'm talking about, I did Market Mania. We talked all about that last time. And then this month, for June, I mentioned that I was going to stitch on a lot of my either bird whips or a lot of the new bird charts that I have. They might not even be new, that I just haven't gotten to. And I have really been enjoying doing that because I have such a selection, a wide variety to choose from. I don't feel too limited. I'm not picking a particular whip. I'm just saying it has to have a bird theme. So that's been really good. And I've had some finishes because of that, which is really nice. So, okay, let's just go ahead and start talking about my stitching and whatever else comes to mind as we go along. Before I do my finishes, I want to share with you, because like I said, sometimes not all of you stay for everything. And I want to tell you what is around me on my wall. And around me here. So first of all, right here to my right here is Quaint Rose Needle Arts. This is Two Antique Birds and an Angel, something along those lines, but it's by Macy. And then right behind me, we have Elegant Alphabet by JBW. If I don't get the names right, I am remembering the designers. So this is JBW. And then up above, we have Eddie and Patsy by Maximum Cross Stitch. By the way, have you seen the new Maximum Cross Stitch sampler through Evertotes? Well, I think it's available on Ellen's site, as well as it's available through Evertotes in different configurations where you can get the Roxy Floss and the chart. And then there's a tote bag. Just go check out Evertotes CA, I think it is, or evertotes.ca for the new sampler that's coming out to celebrate Sampler September. It is gorgeous. It is also huge. It is too large. I really love it. It's pinks. It's a beautiful sampler, but I kind of looked at it and I thought, I was like, it is just a little too large for me to take on. I will show you the one that I'm going to stitch, which I will substitute as a pink sampler for me, but it's beautiful. So if you're not intimidated by something that takes a half yard of linen, you will love it. Up above, way up there, we have, I think it's called Paradise Bird. And that is by, it's an Etsy, you can get it off of Etsy, Leonora Crafts on Instagram. So she'll have a link there to her store because it's not a name I can pronounce. I've stitched that, was it maybe last year? Bird of Paradise might be the name of it. And that was inspired by my friend Lori by Lizma on Instagram. She shared that she was stitching that and I immediately went and had to find it. So it's a beautiful bird. Let's see, we have another JBW, Eliza's French Birds, and then you can barely peek here, but I shared that with you last week, another one by Macy, Quaint Rose Needle Arts. Up above here in the gold frame is a Hats, Hands Across the Sea samplers, and that is Eliza Bell Cox. I just stitched the center parrot on that one. There's a beautiful border of pink and blue flowers. Can't remember what they are, but And then here we have Eleanor Parr. That has been a favorite of many of you. When I have it behind me, I always get asked what that is. So the chart is Eleanor Parr by the Scarlet Letter. I just stitched one side border, and I had to make a few adjustments to get the corners right. I used the DMCs called for. I did move them around at will when I felt like it, if I wanted to change a color, but I used all the DMCs that were charted. I just might have made a few, I might have moved things around a little bit color-wise. And you can barely see, oh, is that Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird? I think that's that one. And then another, you can tell Macy is one of my favorites. Her birds, before I forget, okay, so that's Mary Amelia's Bird, yes, by Macy. And you can see that being currently stitched, fantastic, by Karen, the recovering monogamous stitcher. She's stitching it on perforated paper, and she talks all about how she antiqued her perforated paper, and it's amazing. It's just beautiful. Let's see, did I forget anybody else around me on the wall that you can see? I don't think so. I think that's everybody you can see. So Macy has a new release that's coming out soon, and she has several actually. And one of them is a beautiful, it's kind of like a yellowish, antique yellowish with a blue. It's just, I'm so excited. It's going to be an immediate start for me as soon as it's available in PDF. So, which leads me to, oh, and also Annie, the Proper Stitcher, has another, she shared a sneak peek on her last video. The very end, she showed an antique sampler of a beautiful bird chart that she's going to, or it's a beautiful bird sampler that she's going to chart. And that is also going to be a must stitch when she charts it and releases it. So no shortage. I have a ton already, and there's no shortage of birds coming down the line. So, okay. I feel like those were several of the things I had forgotten or didn't want to forget. And now I've already I cannot remember if I told you. I don't think I told you this yet. Okay, so one of the things that I forgot last time was to say a big thank you to my friend Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot, because she invited me. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was just such a joy. It was just a real honor for you to think of me and ask me. I know we're friends, but just thank you for thinking of me and asking me to be your special guest on her Zoom meetup that she does. Now, since then, there has been there's already been a Zoom and another special guest, and I'm not sure that has been revealed yet, so I will leave that as a surprise. But I had a wonderful visit with so many beautiful stitchers. We just had a really nice time. I had a really nice time, and I thank you so much to everyone for making me feel welcome and for Sarah inviting me. Okay, let me see what else. There was also, I have done my second Across the Pond Stitchy meetup as well. Now that is something that there's a Facebook group, and you join the Facebook group, and then it seems like most of the time they're able to do it the second Saturday of the month. They have a Stitchy meetup. You buy a ticket. It's free. You just have to reserve your spot, so to speak. And I have been able to do that twice now and had, again, a wonderful, wonderful time. It's very well organized and moderated, and so that anyone who wants to share has an opportunity to share. And I just like to sit and stitch and listen for a couple of hours, and just to get to see friends that I won't get to see maybe ever in person. And so that's been really enjoyable. So if you're looking for a Zoom meetup, that is one that you can check out, Across the Pond on Facebook. And okay, what else? I do want to share with you before we go. I want to talk about the next thing that has happened in my stitching journey. Which first I shared that I was your poster girl for paper charts. Right here. Give me a paper chart. That's all I ever need. I've been struggling with some of the charts being a little too small for me personally, or some of them are PDFs and I can't quite get them where I can, their color, and I can't get them in black and white. Different reasons why I decided I had to find other alternatives. So I went to Apple Books, and I talked a lot about that a couple of videos ago, and that is still wonderful. I will still be utilizing that. But you know how when you just know something, you just know, and maybe your friend is being a little stubborn, but you just know that they're going to love this. It's going to be, they're really going to love it once they get over that hump. And my friend, I have that friend, Steph, she not only encouraged me, but she made it absolutely possible for me to try Markup RXP. And so yes, I have to say she was right. You are all right when you say digital is the way to go. I am really, really loving it. It was a bit of a learning curve. There are a lot of tutorials out there by, I guess it's actually the inventor. Is that what we say? The person who who wrote the program for Markup RXP. There's a whole playlist of videos, which I watched. There's also Elizabeth Ann Constitch did a video talking about how she loves Markup RXP. And of course, there's Pattern Keeper. So I'm not saying that I did a review on which one was best. I chose Markup because that was the one that I was gifted. And I'm still figuring some things out. There are times where you have to tweak it, but I have friends and they will help me, or I will continue to watch tutorials and practice. But between those two, I'm really, really enjoying the going digital. So, and in my command center, in my stitchy spot with the stand that comes over, which I promised you, I was really going to try to make a video recently, but it's been really busy. We're doing a bathroom renovation because of a leak and all that, and so that's been taking up a lot of our time, and it's been a little bit stressful. You know, renovation of any kind always is. And I had a wicked headache, which stole a whole day from me, which doesn't usually happen. I get them regularly, but not where they take the whole day. And I missed out on a Zoom call with friends. I was just but I can't remember why I was telling you this. It's been busy and I haven't been able to make that video. So I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to try to show you my Apple Books and not Markup RXP, because I am no expert and there are tutorials for that. But I want to show you my setup as best I can. So, okay, without any further ado, let's start talking about my finishes. So we have JBW Georgian Floral Basket. And this is one that I was able to put on the digital and blow it up, because it's Judy does, her charts tend to be a little bit small for me. So the ability to blow them up has made this much easier for me personally to stitch. But her designs, Judy, your designs are just, you know, I love, and I'm going to share several that I want to hope to get in the future, but this was a favorite market release for me and an absolute must stitch. So I started this, stitched it with my friend Renee, Prairie Stitcher 515. She's definitely one of my partners in crime. And used the DMCs called for. I don't think I made any changes at all. On 40 count Embarrassed, which is from Kitten Stitcher. So 1/2. And so Renee already had the idea that she wanted to put it in a frame. So she's been looking for a frame, and you will have seen this finished many different ways. Judy, on her very last video, Judy shared how someone put a pillow where there was like some trim and a fabric on the bottom and a beautiful little pillow. I had anticipated making this into a pillow. I still may. I think it would be really pretty with some, you know, pink chenille trim around it. But I also saw Stitcher Vicky on Instagram. She shows this in an antique. I'm not sure what count she stitched it on, but it's an oval antique frame. And it's just beautiful. So any way you choose to stitch this, finish this, it's a beautiful little bouquet of flowers, basket of flowers. So, and this is just a thrifted frame. I actually spray painted this. It's a little shiny. I don't think I'm going to keep it this shiny, but at this point it was just something I could grab and stick in to share with you. Okay, so then we had another finish. These aren't in any order, but let me do this one next. This is Let No Net Ensnare Me by 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers. And I started this, I think it was September of 23. I don't know if it was last year or 23, but it had been a while. It was probably 23. So it had been a while that I had been working on this. And we talked about how last time I wasn't sure if I had all the flosses still in the same project bag or on a ring so that I could finish the wing and the other leaves and such. I did not realize that I had made a conversion to a lot of my silks from stash for this. So it's a combination of silks and overdyes, and I don't even know that many of them are the called for. But once I pulled it out and started stitching on it, I was a little irritated with myself because I was like, you're holding all of these beautiful silks hostage. If you just finish this, you can liberate them and put them back in your stash. Won't that be lovely? So let me share with you my finish. I stitched this on 40 count wheat by Fiber on a Whim, and the plan is to put it in the plate frame. It has to still be ironed and pulled and all the things if it's going to stay in here. I may put it in a darker. I've tried it. I have one that I'm going to put some, like bry wax or something to make it darker, because a lot of them are this color. And I prefer the more, a deeper brown, but it looks good in this. So I'm not sure. I have so many birds in plate frames now. I'm going to have to figure out how to incorporate them and mix and match them in with all of my other stitching. Maybe put up another shelf. I'm thinking I need a shelf in my bedroom, maybe in my husband's office, because it'll be nice to put some things on a shelf with other knickknacks around it. But I left off, what did I do? I did leave off, there's a flower here, and I added instead this little portion of the green because I didn't really, it's like a blue. It's fine, it's beautiful, I don't mind it at all, but I decided I was done at this point, and the configuration looks good, so it was good there. Changed a few of the colors. Like I said, I used my own silks, and so if I wanted to change a color, I may have here and there. But I'm really happy to have this done. It has that patriotic feel to me, just because there's that red, white, and blue going on. But yes, it's very nice accomplishment to have something that is a slightly older whip. I know many of us have older, but that was old enough, and I'm really happy to have that finished. Can you see that okay? And let's see, before I take my next finish, I'm going to just pop in a couple of these little, I always like to show something because I want to showcase your talents. And these are a couple of things that I got from the retreat that we talked about very briefly last time, because I couldn't not cry. But I think I can do it right now. So this is a watermelon, which was a little table gift made by my friend Lisa, who is Elle Snaps, and she did ELLE Snaps. She did it's Lisa McCulley on Flosstube, but she did a really great recap of not only our retreat, but also the one that she went to in Amana on her very last video. So, and thank you, Lisa. It was really lovely. When I watch my friends make the videos with the recaps of our retreat, it's just like being there again. And I just love reliving it because it was just so much fun. Oh, I also forgot there was a little, over here, you can't quite see, another bird stitch I did a while ago. This is by my friend Misty, Luminous Fiber Arts. And I just popped it in this little oval frame. So you can't see that. So let me make sure I get to share that with you. What else? Oh, and then you can see the bird back here was another retreat gift, and that was from Wanda and Merritt, and it's just the cutest. Just makes you smile. It's so fun. And again, you'll see that more up close. Lisa does a really good. She talks all about it. I think Lisa, you gave it a name, right? So fun. Okay, so let's talk about my next finish, which this was a process for me because I love this entire sampler. Samplers and Stitches on Etsy is Carol X Stitch on Instagram. And follow Carol on Instagram if you want to make sure you see all of the other she's got more samplers available, more charts there on her site, but she's also got sneak peeks that she comes out with. And I just like, she gets me all hepped up. But this was a process because I love and I wanted to stitch the entire thing. I love these flowers. I totally have to stitch these flowers like on a pillow. But you know me and borders. So I had started here with my favorite and I thought, I'm gonna do that and then we'll assess. And as I was getting closer, not expecting to have a finish, but as I was getting closer to a finish, I thought, all right, if I have a frame that I like, that I love, that this looks really good in, I will stop here. If not, then I'm going to stitch the whole thing. So that was kind of the parameter that I went with. Well, I went looking around my room, and of course, you know, I snagged this off my wall and ousted the bird from Cottage Garden Samplings that was in here because I have other plans for some of those birds. It was no problem, but this frame suits this piece to, I feel, to perfection. I really love it. And I was very happy to just call it a finish at this point. And I was able to finish that bird on a Zoom call. I think that's the one I stitched on when I was on the Across the Pond. That was a couple of hours, and stitching that, it's a digital download, stitching it on my Markup RXP as I could, so I could stitch it as it made it go very smoothly, even with all the confetti. It's not a very big bird, so, but I got, if not all of it, I got a lot of it done, and then I finished up, the next day I finished up the other two flowers and this flower, and I was like, okay, let's go see. Now this is on 40 count vintage Chantilly cream, which is Lakeside. And that linen was gifted to me by a friend who she just, you know, it's Lakeside's hard to get, and she's in a club and she got it. She got a piece of it that she just thought of me because it's pink. And now there's that memory in this stitching as well, that I know where the linen came from. So love, 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 need I say. I think that you will love it as well if you go get that from Carol's Etsy store, Samplers and Stitches on Etsy. Let's gather. Okay, I'm going to show you another gift from the retreat. That was another homemade gift. I want to share the talents of my friend Renee, Prairie Stitcher 515. She made these fantastic, and you know, that girl's got game, because I've mentioned, you know, doing a heart and doing the shape and all that. That's hard for me not to be wonky. Look at what a beautiful she just did. It's just fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it. And I love you. So there's that. Let's see, what should we do next? Should we do more? Let's do something I just started last night. This is my first chart by Diana Bloom Designs. She is a Canadian designer, lives in Canada on the prairies. I think that's what you say, Diana. Coming home. So this is PDF. This is actually going to be surprisingly large and quite a bit of stitching. So expect to see this over a long span of time, because I chose a fabric that's going to be a little bit more challenging for me to stitch on. It's a little darker, 40 count. I should have done 36, but you know, I can do it. It'll just slow me down a little bit. So it'll take a while, and it's quite dense stitching. All of this is going to be quite dense. So this is also something, obviously, as a PDF, I have struggled a bit figuring out how to get this into Markup and how to line up and all that. So this will be something that I will need some assistance down the line when I'm with friends at, you know, something in person, or when I can fuss with it more or get more proficient. I will try to figure that out. And Diana is there to help in any way that she can. So she's not, I messaged her and she's like me, we're not techie. So we'll see how this goes in the future, if maybe there's something that I can figure out and I can share with you. But, and you might not have any issues at all. So don't listen to me. I'm super not techie. Evergreen Fog by Seraphim Fabrics. So it's darker. This is as dark as I would ever want to go. I bought it because it was pretty. That's why. I typically would not buy fabric that's darker and 40 count going forward because it's just too hard for me to see. But that is my very small start. As I mentioned, it was just late last night before putting away stitching for the evening. I really wanted to get a start because I really wanted to get this. Once I get it on the go, it's a lot easier for me to pull it out than it is to make a start. So I literally started right here because I wanted to get to this pink house as quickly as possible. So it's a beautiful chart, and I will be looking forward to making some progress on that pink house. I have a feeling that this will be a really good zoom stitch because there's going to be a lot of just fill in. So those are always good to have set aside for that. If I have it on the Q, if I can keep it on a Q snap, I have a fair number of Q snaps. If I can keep it on the Q snap ready to go, then I should be able to grab it at a moment's notice. And I have the DMCs. It's charted for Roxy Floss, but there's a DMC conversion, and I have all the DMCs on one of those plastic thread holders, so I don't have to worry about searching for them anywhere. And it has a project bag, so it'll be all set with the little tag. I'm putting them with the little designer name tags. It should be all, you should be all good to go. So I'm going to share with you now. We're going to take a pause again because I want to share another gift that was, and here I can feel my nose is starting to burn and the tears are starting to come. So hopefully we can just keep this moving. This was made for me by my friend Wanda with a lot of Blackbird fabric scraps. She's a quilter extraordinaire. And so she had a lot of scraps that she was able to pull together and make this fantastic bag. A lot of you will recognize, I'm sure, a lot of these fabrics. This fantastic folder keeper, that was project keeper. She and Wanda and Merritt both at the retreat were just finishing up all the things, sewing up a storm. I mean, between the two of them, oh my gosh, there's nothing those ladies can't make. So it was a lot of fun to watch them just keep going through the finishes, and the pile was growing behind them and you could walk by and admire. And so this was just a lovely gift from my friend Wanda. Thank you so much, Wanda. I treasure it. I treasure the fact that we are friends and that I got to meet you in person, give you big hugs. Look forward to being able to do that again. So, all right, we got to keep it moving or I'm going to lose it. Once I lose it, that's all there is. I have one more though. I feel as if this is the time I'm just going to go ahead and do it while we're here. I was gifted this amazing project bag as well. So many talented friends out there. Quilted, just beautiful. This fabric. And I'm sharing this with you not only because I want you to see the workmanship, but my friend, this is Tessa, has an Etsy store. She's in Australia. And so I don't know if you can read that. I will put her information below. But a lot of the things that she sent me are examples of things that you can find in her Etsy store. So this was just, like I said, I can't say enough about being thought of. She did not make the card. She said she can't take credit for the card. But look at this. I have to share this with you because how fun is this? Oh my gosh. Ah, just love it. And so I wanted to show you because here's an example of some of the things that I think that you can find in Tessa's Etsy store because I didn't know. I went and popped over there and was looking at all the fun things. So there's the scissors, little stork scissors, the little floss bling. Look at that. She knew. I mean, all the birds, right? Tessa, oh my gosh. The little needle minder and the little case that you can put needles in, or I cannot say enough about this beautiful bag. It's so well made. There's her tag. And I thank you. The real treasure is the women behind these gifts and the little note that she sent me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to set my notes here and hope I can do well. Okay, we're doing great because we're just going to have fun talking about all things stitchy, right? I want to share with you, this is a bit of a dilemma now for me because, all right, I started this with my friend, again, Renee. I told you she's definitely a partner in crime, true instigator in all the best ways. But we were going to stitch this together. We did. She started it. I started it. The dilemma now, so Renee's going to stitch this one, has started this one. And I started this one. And we had some discussion about the color. It's corn silk is the color for the border. And corn silk, if you've seen, I can't remember if it's gassed or I can't remember who's corn silk. I think it's gassed. But corn silk is a bit of an, maybe like an acidy green color. And I initially told Renee, I don't think I'm going to be using that color. I think I'm going to change it. And she's like, no, it'll be fun. You know, that pop of color and just, it's what makes it. And I was like, I didn't disagree with her. But I was going to stitch it. I was going to kit it up with silks from my stash. So I already picked it out. I picked it a bright green and a very bright fuchsia-like pink. And I started with the border. Yep, I was going to stitch the border. So I started with the border. And then I moved on to this part. So this is 40 count Embarrassed. Again, by Kitten Stitcher. And I think that was part of my problem because I was thinking about it. I kitted up, I pulled it. I was like, you know what? I don't think that fabric's going to work well with those bright colors and you should switch. And then I was like, no. And so then I didn't. I started and I was like, that was not, and I pulled it out already, so I can't show you. I was like, that's not going to work. But I had already moved on and started the flowers, which are black. It's mascara here. I picked Noir, which is more of a soft black, and Oatmeal Scone, which is the white. And I just started stitching with the colors that I chose. And I decided that I was going to pull out the border and just stitch this portion. So that's what I've done so far. Silks from my stash, just this part, make a cute little pillow. We could call it good. Or it looks good and I like the sampler. So I could keep going with choosing a different color for the border, the flower and the border, doubling it down a little bit and stitching the whole thing. So there's no rush. I don't have to just stop here. I like the sampler. I have a feeling, you can hear me already making the decision, that this might just turn into even though it's small, that border for me was no joke. It was a lot of stitching for each one of those little sections. So this might be a longer term whip for me. And again, there's no rush, except that Renee, she will totally have hers done before I get anywhere near a finish, because that's how that girl rolls. She lulls you. She's like, you're so far ahead. And then she's done. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll pick more colors for the border and we'll just keep going. I think that's what we'll do. So these are the colors. If you really want to know, we can talk about them, but they're just, a blue, a pink, a blue, a lighter blue. It's just fun. Silks from my stash. Ooh, here comes, I had one before we started. I feel like I'm going to be able to start counting how many of these I'm going to get. Personal summers, moments, all the things. I have this in a beautiful project bag made by Steph, Lake Girl Stitches. Gosh, I'm extremely blessed to have some talented ladies who have hearts, huge, huge hearts that just gift me these beautiful things. Okay, this is going to be Birds of a Feather circled together. Sorry. Can you see? I am glistening like crazy. So Birds of a Feather circled together by Mama Loves You GB. And we talked about it last time, how I had 3 birds left to go. I did get a start and make some decisions, and I almost finished. The one bird got a good portion of the next bird, and I have one more to go with all the leaves and stuff. So I was feeling good, but I was also like, oh, I'm gonna put it away and come back at it another time. So stitching this, well, she's already done. Kenzie, Mud Puppy Stitchery, we started it together. She has a beautiful finish. And I, as we've said, still have a bird and a half to go and some leaves and such. This is 32 count Vintage Bittersweet by Lakeside Linens. And I'm using silks from my stash. So it's just a lot of, so I added this bird. And thank you, because you know what? I think this bird's going to be fine. Someone mentioned in the comments, which I did heart all the comments. Forgive me. I did not actually respond to a lot of them, and that I read them all. Thank you. And a big thank you to Gourmet Texas. That was a lovely comment about the Texas party type thing. That was really sweet. But you're all very sweet. Thank you so much for taking the time to comment. And I'm going to make this more purples, dusky pink purplies. I was a little bit irritated because I was thinking this color is one of the colors I did in the leaf, and I thought I was stitching a leaf, and I was like, wow, that's a really big, why is that? And but did I stop and look, and no, it's not a leaf. It's the shoulder wing, the top portion of the wing of the bird. And I wouldn't have stitched it gold, even though it's beautiful on this bird. I would have changed it to purple or something. But now I'm like, I don't think I want to pull that out. I think it'll be fine in the overall scheme of things, but I was just mad at myself for not pausing because I knew it, and I didn't do anything about it. Okay, so now we have another, I couldn't stop. Wait, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen, but pow, I got so much done. This is the chart, Reflet de Soie, Angèle, there you go. This is a chart I would highly recommend that you get in digital form versus the written chart. I just highly recommend that you do it in some sort of a digital form. Much easier to stitch. So that bird, beautiful. Steph is stitching this. We started this together. She's stitching this. She's stitching the whole thing in the Avera Soie, the flowers. She started at the border, and she's got a bit of the bird head done. It's just beautiful. I do not want to stitch the border. As much as I love the alphabet, I really love the alphabet. Like the font, this font on this alphabet is one of my favorites. I could stitch just the center portion. Don't have to decide. I have lots of fabric. I didn't cut it. I thought I'm gonna start with the bird and we'll go from there. This is Halo by Phoebe Moonshine Stitchery. So I just kept, once I got going, I think I had this bottom portion done, if you've seen it, a little bit of this here, and all the rest. I just kept going. A few days, I just couldn't stop stitching because I just loved watching it come to life. These are the DMCs that are called for, and I don't think I made any substitutions that I can remember anyway. If I did, it would have been comparable. Would have just been, I don't have that exact DMC, but I have something that's comparable. And I did change the color of this flower here because it was purple, I think, and I made it pink. Oh my gosh, isn't he a handsome boy? Just love it. This will probably go in a circle plate frame. So once I get the other portion, all I have left now, this big branch leaves area over here. When you stitch birds, you also stitch a lot of leaves and flowers. So once I finish that other section, then I will assess again and decide, do I want to keep going, or will I be just as happy with the bird in a plate frame? Because if I keep going, it's going to be a lot longer of a whip because of all those letters. That'll take me a while. And it's not a rush. That's not necessarily the deciding factor for me. For me, there are so many more birds I want to stitch. There's so many more beautiful, and not even just birds, houses and flowers, and we'll talk more about that, but there's just so much more that I want to stitch. I won't have time for everything. It's time management. That's what it is. It's a bit of time management. I just want to do the things I love the most. Those are the things I want to stitch, and the portions that I want to stitch, I guess, let's say. And I never know exactly what that is. I can decide as I go along. Okay, Mud Puppy Stitchery talked about Kenzie and her Beautiful Bird series. Go check her out. She has lots of fun things to choose from. This tufted titmouse is so cute. My friend Karen, the stitching owl, she already has a finish. I was zooming with Karen as well. And I'm like, Karen, you're just so fast. She's She's like, well, I stitched it on 36 count and I used the sewing method. And I'm like, well, I'm on my Lowry two-handed. I think part of it is I get bored. And so stitching a lot of the same thing. This is beautiful. I love it. It's even pink, but it's a lot of the same type of stitching after a while. And so I just need to break it up. And that's all. That's just a personal thing with me, because there's nothing I don't love. Is that all the right grammar? I love everything about this. The pink bird is adorable. Stitch the bird very quickly. The pink flowers, I love it. I think this is something I dyed with some pink dye. So I had to change the colors of the flowers. The pinks, they're still pink, but I had to change the colors because I had to find pinks that would show up well on my color of late pink linen. 40 count something. So I love it. Want to stitch all of it, but there's a lot more to go, and I just need some variety sometimes with the type of stitching. So and again, there's no hurry to finish it. It's just for me. So I do want to see it on my pink wall because it's gonna look so cute. Another one that will take me a bit of time because again, I do not have a lot of I can't stay the long haul when it's a lot of block stitching. This is fantastic zoom stitching again. If I can manage to count, you wouldn't think that, like those animal crackers, right? Counting back and forth, you wouldn't think that's that hard. But for me, I can get off on where I'm at the, like nobody's business. It is very challenging for me. Baskets are another one that I struggle with. I have to be really careful and concentrate when I'm stitching baskets. So The Visitor by Nest of Petals, and stitching this with the called for DMCs. I think this is on Cream and Sugar. I looked it up and I'm pretty sure that's what this one is Cream and Sugar. Is that Fiber on a Whim? So yep, another really good zoom one, which I will just make progress on here and there. If I can just keep it on the Q snaps, which I do because I don't snap over the stitching. This will not be anything snapped, will need stitching. And I just don't snap the top unless I'm working on it. I will use an old Q snap bracket that's very cracked and old and loose, and I put a piece of felt there, and that's just me because I tend to get lines and I don't want to snap. If I have to snap over my stitching, I do something very loosely so that I just get a little bit of tension. But once I move up a little bit, I will flip this upside down and I will stitch it upside down, and that way I can maybe move it down and put this part on the Q snap and hike it up a bit. So a lot of times when I'm stitching, I only need 3 snaps. I don't even need 4 if I can get the tension. Like if I'm stitching here, if I can get enough tension, sometimes I won't worry too much about putting that 4th snap on. Hope that made sense, but that's why you always see all this extra fabric attached, so that I can keep it in the Q snap, and as long as I don't need it. Sometimes I have a start and I need the Q snaps and I have to go hunting and steal them from the other projects. Okay, is that all my stitching? That is all my stitching. I'm looking around. Let me check my notes really quickly, but you know, there's nothing on the chair, so that would mean that would be everything. And oh, another reminder, because I'm just going through my notes really quickly, another reminder for another Zoom, because I had talked last time about how many of us can't go to actual physical retreats for various reasons, but there are some online Zooms available, and someone asked me what some of those were, and I always mention this, often I mention this, that my friend Sandy, Stitchin' with Sandy, she has a monthly, two days a month, the 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month, she holds an open Zoom. You just message her, she'll send you the link, and that is from 10 to 2 Pacific Standard Time. So I race home from church and I jump right on as fast as I can. There is also my friend Karen started a Flosstube, and so she is the Twitchy Stitcher. So welcome to Flosstube, Karen. You did a great job. I hope that you'll all go over there and give her a look. A big hi shout out to Katie and Jeremiah. Katie is Jeremiah's mom on Flosstube, and I've really been enjoying catching up. Katie is stitching the along with Charlie. Is it Stitching with Charlie? Sorry, Charlie. She's stitching the bird, Lola Crow, Dangerous Bird, Sal. Is that what it's called? I think. And I really was tempted by that one, but it's back stitching and it's a mystery stitch and all of that. I was like, I don't have time. I just don't think I have time to keep up. So I'm just watching. I'm enjoying watching them stitch it. Okay, yeah, I guess I feel as if so far we're doing well. Let me shout out this before I forget. The new Modern Folk embroidery. It came out on Patreon already, but it's going to be coming out. My understanding is hopefully towards the end of this week. And I can't remember what it's called. It's a beautiful flower with, there's a pretty border, but it's just this beautiful pink flower. I'm dying. Definitely going to be my birthday. I don't know if it'll be my birthday start. My birthday is coming up the 4th of July. I have a lot of other things, who knows, but it's definitely going to be a month of July stitch for me. And I hope that many of you will join. I know some of my friends are already, I sent a picture and they're all like, ah, so yay. All right, some other fun things we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you some more bird charts and we're going to talk about some more stitching. So there is the salve that is, I don't remember what it's called. I'm sorry, ladies, but if you go watch Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher or Nancy the Stitcher with the Laughing Face, you will hear them talk about their salve where it's 13 patriotic stitches. I don't know if it's one a month, whatever it is, break something large down into 13 sections. And that way the idea is that you will have 13 patriotic finishes for next year to celebrate the 250th sesquicentennial celebration. But I have been, and Nancy showed this a few months ago, and I said, Nancy, I have that, let's stitch it together. So Nancy, I don't know, did you ever put this in your pile? It's not going to be something you can finish quickly. Carol, I was just watching Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, and she showed this, she just finished it. She talked about the colors that she changed. And there's also, okay, so 2 sales at once, I'm going to throw it at you, or 2 stitching events. Carol talked about, and I think there's been some chatter, Narissa Stitching Lifestyle talked about how, Sampler September, which is like my favorite month, is not enough time to stitch all the samplers. Not for me anyway. And so Narissa's doing something where she's starting in August, maybe even July. And Carol is doing something called Summer Samplers, whatever you want to call it. If I'm not stitching birds in June or Market Mania in May, pretty much the rest of the time I'm stitching samplers. So any opportunity to call it something and celebrate with someone else, I'm on board. But so that's going to be something I will be excited to participate in and make some sort of a plan for. But this is one that I thought, if I can devote some time to patriotic stitching, I have tried to start this for, 3 years now in a row. Every year I keep thinking I'm going to pull this out. So maybe I can at least get a start. It'd be one that maybe I could do, break it down into 13 sections and do a section a month. I don't know, I'm really bad at that kind of stitching. The other one that I've also loved, and I talked about this last time, my friend Laurel, I am a stitch nerd, showed this, and everybody else has showed this. Either stitched it, wants to stitch it, currently stitching it. Jem, Krista, I don't know. I really would salute to Abigail from this book. Is another one that, gosh, I would love to have that one on my wall. So those 2 are thoughts if I can manage to join in the fun. There's also going to be, starting on July 25th, so my friend April Heirlooms, she said, hey, did you see that they put another frill out for the Tiny Town Nativity? Where first it was the Tiny Town Nativity, then there was the frill with the 3 wise men, and now I guess there's a frill with the shepherds. I haven't seen it, but I think it's the shepherds. And she was like, I wish they'd let me know when they're done, because she wants to stitch them all as one. And I had said, I already had some nativities on the go, or one that I wanted to stitch. And she's like, oh, Sal. And this was a Saturday Stitcher, so a lot of us were joining in. I said, well, I can't take on another one until I stitch some of the ones that I already have. So we came up with the idea of any nativity would qualify. Wanda's on board. I can't remember who else in there. I think Merritt liked the idea. I think Celeste, you've already stitched this one. Is that right? I picked this up with my friend Amy, Mrs. Flossie, when I was at the attic years ago now. And you see it stitched at the attic on the wall. all as one. And so this has been one that I've wanted to stitch. So this is one of them that I want to start, but I already have on the go this one right here by my friend Allison, right here, the New Creation Studio. What's this one? Just Nativity Band Sampler. I saw Brandy stitch this from Emma and Brandy. Oh, I've just drawn a blank. But she has a beautiful finish of it on the dark, on the black. I was like, I can't stitch it on the black. I tried. I think I tried on this one. I just gave up and gave the black Ada to my friend Sandy. And this was my start. So this is Fox and Rabbit Eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. So that's my start, and that will be one that we're going to pull it out on the 25th of July. So I will hopefully get some more progress on that. And then I also have, well, this might have been why I was thinking of Celeste. I know Celeste has stitched several of these. So this is another, lots of little snippets of the nativity that I could do. Always wanted to do. I don't know. I think this one is more likely for me. Just have to pick fabric and floss. And then that would be another really good zoom stitch because it's lots of fill in. Okay, so that's happening. Now we've got some fun bird charts. I want to share more new things that I plan on stitching at some point with you. Won't get to all of them. Just won't get to all of them. Eventually I will, but not, obviously, June is almost over. Okay, headed to Bristol on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Headed to Bristol early Thursday morning. And at the same time, they're going to be tearing apart the bathroom and doing a big reno there. So hopefully we get to come home and have it all be done and beautiful. So I only have so much more time before the official Stitch Birds month will be coming to an end, but that does not mean that I will not be stitching birds. So this is one I'm going to stitch with my friend Brooke. We're going to start, is it the 23rd, Brooke, when she gets back from her vacation? We're going to stitch this one. I have not decided. This is Little Robin Designs. I've not decided. I really like the colors of the corner, but I haven't chosen anything for this yet. It looks like it's Gentle Arts, Weeks, Classic Colorworks, all the colors. And I'm sure I have them or substitutes, but it's not very big. So probably, you know, stitch the corner borders. Really, really pretty. And my friend Amy, check her Etsy shop. So cute. Really love that. We've got I'm just showing you bird charts in case you hadn't figured that out. Got Scattered Seed Samplers, Vintage Charm Pin Keep. Is this the one, Brenda? She talked on the last video about how she has 3 different iterations of it. It's beautiful. I can see why. And let me tell you, Laura showed so many charts in her little parade there where I was like, oh, have that, want that, stitch that, have that, want to stitch that. I was like, oh my gosh, Laura and I were just like on the same wavelength that time. This is another JBW. I've had this now for a couple of years. I just haven't gotten to it. So I even had the floss in here once upon a time. I was like, oh, I'm not getting to it. I better. Here is a freebie for you if you want to stitch a bird by my friend Amy, Mrs. Flossie. She had this up on her Instagram. I'm not sure how else she's made it available, but this is one I would really... I was thinking I might use this as an example when I show you how I use iBooks. I might take a picture of this and show you how it loads up. So I don't think Amy will mind. It was free. Roses in July by Needlework Press. This is old, and I've had this for a number of years. This is one, again, you will see occasionally Brenda has had this where you can see this on her wall or she shared it. It's on perforated paper. The antique is on perforated paper. I think part of the reason why I hadn't started it is because I didn't know if I wanted to do perforated paper. I don't think I will. I think I will just pull some. It's charted in Belle Soie, and I have a lot of these now. At the time when I had this, I didn't have any silks. But now looking at this, I think I have most of them, and if not, I have substitutes. So who knows? Maybe I'll just do that. I picked this up at Country Sampler. Another really good monochromatic, is so easy. Might do this on 32 count with some floche so that it could be large. That would be fun. I think that's what I'll do. Can you see that? I'm sorry. Factor Dove, 3 Sheep Studio. So I probably have some of that 32 count pink that I stitched on a low branch by Mojo Stitches. Oh, it's time to shift. My knees are starting to get a little cranky. This is available on Etsy. I got this. I checked this morning though, it's still on there. Here's the designer you would look for, the Etsy store. And this is one, I want to stitch the border. I just love that. I want to stitch the whole thing. Probably why I haven't started it. But I had this out because I started pulling colors for it, flosses for it. And I think looking at this, I'm thinking I have a piece of Vintage Maritime White by Lakeside. I'm pretty sure. Or, you know what? I might do it on Antique Lace by Seraphim. I might do that. That's another good option. They're in there somewhere. I just got to go hunt through the linen and find them. Do a floss toss. Again, by Amy, Mrs. Flossie. Don't forget, get to see her at Bristol, obviously, Thursday. We're also going to make a video, Diane and hopefully Nanette and Amy. This is available in her Etsy store. Totally, even if I don't get a start on anything else, this has been calling and calling and calling, and I'm going to get a start on this before the end of the month. Not stitching the border, that's why I didn't start it, but I am stitching this whole inside. Renee stitched just the bird. I don't know which one, but I want to stitch the entire basket, flowers, the whole inside, just not the outside border. I saw this at Acorns and Threads, stitched up by Sarah. Had a beautiful finish there. She stitched it on kind of a large count, so it was large. Fantastic. You know, I saw Sarah, and sometimes it just didn't click. Sarah is going to come to summer school, I think, with Anna, who is Stitch Roadie. And when I saw Anna at the last retreat that we were there for last summer school, Sarah was there, and I saw Sarah, but my brain didn't connect and say, this is Sarah. So hopefully when I don't know if Sarah's watching, but if I see you this time, Sarah, I for sure want to be like more, it's Sarah. And maybe I'll have my whip with me. I don't know. But it was like one of those moments where I just felt like, oh, I missed an opportunity there. And speaking of, I am really excited. Some of you will be at Bristol. So please, please, please make sure to come say hi. I tend to want to walk around the room as much as possible. I don't know how the tables are set up. Sometimes it's a little more tricky now if they're in the lines, the rows that way versus the circle tables. I don't know how it's going to be, but I try my best because I really love walking around and seeing what you're stitching on and saying hi and chatting. And I really love that aspect of a retreat. So if you see me, if I stop, definitely say hey, please, please. It's one of the highlights for me. I've had this again. This was a couple years ago, I think. How tiny, teeny tiny. Why have I not stitched this? I should definitely get this one going. Just because it's so tiny. This is stitched, but I don't think it's not. It looks like satin stitches. I don't know. Maybe just some pretty fabric. And that cute little bird. Mojo Stitches. Another JBW. I love Judy's charts. This was a gift from my friend Merritt for my birthday. I think it was Merritt. Look, still haven't stitched it. I think that was a couple of years ago. Might have been last year, but still, it's so pretty. It's probably a little bit fussy. A lot of color changes, a lot of little teeny tiny motifs. So it'll be something that I will want to take on in small chunks. Just because that kind of start and stop. I don't know. I haven't looked at it to see. Maybe it's just a variegated floss and it's not as many starts and stopping as I thought, but we'll see. And then the Goldfinch by Erica Michaels. My friend Renee is really good at making strawberries. I should get this finished so that when I see her in person again, I can say, will you finish my strawberry for me? Wild Berries, Blackbird Designs. I really love this, obviously. And then I got my fabric for, I said I was going to do bee's knees, so I do think this will be perfect over the Havana, which is harder for me to stitch on. Bee's knees will be a good substitute. I've started pulling flosses. Stacy, Bluebird Paper and Thread, talked about, she has the chart and she said we should stitch it together. And I said, yes, let me know. And she has to kit it up. Stacy is busy. So the good thing is plenty of time to get a start on that one. And I also have the fabric chosen. A lot of it's just picking fabric. So I have the fabric chosen. This is hog bristle, I'm pretty sure, for my Ellen Hunt. A present to Anne Hunt. Island Time Stitching. She has a beautiful finish on this. I am still on the fence. Steph, Lake Girl Stitches has a start. I don't know. I think I'm going to, I love the border. That's why I'm still struggling. But I think I'm just going to stitch the inside portion and no border. Again, just for the sake of being able to stitch more things. And the border will not be something I will enjoy stitching as much as I like the finished product. So I think there's enough beauty on that inside top portion for me. So I pulled flosses and I was ready. I just literally have to have the time to sit down and get a start on that one. Those, one more here. Okay, so yesterday as well, I was starting to kit up. And I get to tell you, this was from Brooke. Brooke made this beautiful project bag for me. This is another gift at the retreat. Thank you so much, Brooke. I love it. And I am going to use it to hold my peacock. Sorry, here I come. My peacock, which Stitchy Sally has a start on this, and everybody's already stitched it or started it, but I wanted to hold off because I've been debating and debating. I want to make it more pink than the blue. I want to stitch the peacock color, you know, peacock blue in all of this part, and then I want to put pink in some of the feathers. So this is going to go in the bag. I'm going to stitch it on the piece I just cut off from my Samplers and Stitches finish here. It's perfect size. So, because it finishes up on 40 count, like 5 by 5 or 5.5 by 5.5. So it's just a good size and it's the right color if I want to add pink especially. So this is that vintage Chantilly cream. That was part of what was holding me up, is I just didn't want to stitch it on the raw. I just kept seeing visions of wanting to make this more pink. And so here's what I did. I pulled some stuff. I pulled some silks, some gorgeous silks from my stash. The challenge I had though was exactly what I've talked about before. A lot of these are variegated. I don't want variegated blues because this is broken up in such a way that if you stitch the sections with the 3 different blues or however many there are that they've charted, you will get the necessary shading. If I use a variegated floss, it's going to look all just wackadoodle. So I don't think that's going to be the good idea. So I don't stitch with a lot of 103s. But I'm going to try on this because I had the colors from another piece, another chart that I have. It came kitted up with all of the 103, so I have a lot of colors to choose from. So I pulled some this morning and I thought, those are good contenders. And I'm going to rattle a little bit. I am going to give those a whirl now that I have chosen the linen, which is just the biggest challenge, and decided on kind of where I want to add the pink. So I'm very excited to get a start on that one. And then this is the one that I'm going to stitch in my mind. It's like a pink sampler, or rather a larger pink sampler, but not too big like the one from Maximum Cross Stitch, which is gorgeous. Again, do not be deterred if you love a big sampler. That one is fantastic, but this one has lots of pink. I'm going to change the color of the house to I say red, but it's going to be like a pink red. But I want anything that's yellow. I don't think I'm going to do in the gold. I might do gold, but I'm going to make this pinks and reds, and even, look, there's even like a watermelon pink. So I posted on Instagram, and then I even sent it to my group of friends. I'm like, please vote, because I know what I want, but I have a feeling that the other one is a better choice. And it is. I know. It's like, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my dilemma. I love this color. I love it. This is it Dolomite? Dolomite? Hold on. I kept the bag on here. Dolomite. Yeah, D-O-L. The thing got a little raggedy there. But it's Fiber on a Whim. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. And I really wanted to stitch it on this. But I think that, and I've obviously seen the cover the way it is, I think this is a better choice. This is Cockle Shell by Tabby Cat. And this, again, the beauty of both of these pieces is they were gifts, both of them. So I get to add that element to my stitching, is that I'm stitching on some linen that was gifted to me by some wonderful friends, different friends, but I think that the lighter one is, it got more votes. And I agree. I think it's going to look good. I love this. I still think I would be happy with this. And part of why I wanted to do darker was because carries. It's going to be harder to carry anything on this. And especially if I'm stitching like reds and dark pinks. So, but I think so. I think this is going to be a very good choice. And all I did so far, this is charted, if I remember right, charted for NPIs. I did not, this is an exclusive. I'm sorry, let me start there. Queenstown Sampler Designs is the designer, but it is available through, oh, is it on here? Victorian Rose Needle Arts. That's not on here, but I got this. It's available as an exclusive through Victorian Rose Needle Arts. And I ordered it like immediately. As soon as I saw the post, I ordered it. Just the chart, not the floss. And I'm going to choose my own, obviously. Silks from Stash, I just grabbed pinks, reds, greens. That's all I did so far. So I can have fun and decide which ones I want to do. And I think they're going to look beautiful on this. They would look beautiful on this as well. Oh, I just love this color so much. I know, but I do think this is a good choice. I mean, I'm super happy with it. So I think that everything will show up. I won't have to struggle with any colors not showing up. And I love this. So this will be lovely to see come. Since I love the chart on that fabric on the cover, I'm sure that I will love this choice. Okay. All right. Is that everything? Let me look at my notes again very quickly, just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Those are all good. Told you about all of those. So we're good. And I think that's everything. Oh, my friend Krista, the Wildflower Stitcher, made a new video. Yay! It's been a while, so it's good to see you back on Flosstube, Krista. We both chatted and laughed about how, oh my gosh, we forgot so much in our last videos that we were like, well, we're just gonna have to make another one sooner than later. Thank goodness I looked. One more big thing to tell you about before we go. Twin Peak Primitives. Okay, talked about it last time, how they are doing the Jane Austen novels and putting them into Quaker, all the Quaker motifs around the configuration of the characters, the two main characters. And they're beautiful. It's so challenging because there will be, what are there? I think there's 5 of them. They're beautiful. Is it 6? I don't know how many of the novels she counted and which one she did. But anyway, they're beautiful. And for different reasons, I would stitch the different ones that she has out there. They're just so hard to choose from. But I think I have narrowed it down because it's lots of pink. And I looked at the stitching and what would be involved in the color changes and all of that. So I think I'm going to do the Mansfield Park. But Mansfield Park is not anywhere near my favorite. So I will not make it say Mansfield Park. And I will probably darken the hair so that it looks more either like Anne Elliot or Elizabeth Bennet. Either one, because Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion are my 2 favorite. So on board so far, we've got Rainy Day Reads and Crafts. And just today they came out because I said to her when we were talking about it, I said, wait, you have to wait for Northanger Abbey because that's your favorite. Henry Tilney is your favorite. And she's like, I know. She just messaged me this morning before I sat down to make this video and said, this is the one. This is the one I already bought and I'm ready to start. So she's doing Northanger Abbey. My friend April Heirlooms, she has her movie version of the Pride and Prejudice while on BBC. She's definitely Keira Knightley. And Matthew, I still forgot. I know his name. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Anyway, that's her version. She loves that version. And so for her, that was perfect. And that's the one she wants to celebrate. I think hopefully having a finish by her anniversary next year. So we're not waiting until next year to start. We're going to start, we're starting next month, starting in July. Yes, I just have to, now that I've decided which one I want, pretty sure that's the one, I just have to download it from Etsy in the PDF version, choose my linen, choose all the pretty pinks. I'm so excited. It's Quakers, lots of careful counting. It's big, it's large. It's going to be fantastic. So if you have any desire to stitch any of those, let us know. I don't even know that we have a hashtag or if that's a thing, but you know how fun it will be just to know that we're all kind of stitching along and sharing our progress. So that is, you tell I'm like giddy. I'm very excited about this. Yeah, very excited about that. I think that's everything that I had to share with you. I'm looking at my notes one more time. I think that I don't believe there's anything else here on my notes. So, all right. My husband is going to share some scripture. As always, we hope that you will stay. Many of you do. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful comments. They're so encouraging. We know how much you appreciate the scriptures as much as we do. And we just thank you for taking time to let us know that you do stay and that you do you understand the importance of the word as much as we do, and how that is the best part, honestly, of these videos. So what else? I guess Bristol, here I come. Very excited for that. Have to pack, make decisions on what I'm taking. Oh, I forgot to pull that chart. I think I'm going to do that little, is it Bird in Hand by Blackbird? It's a little tiny red bird and it's monochromatic. Should be some easy stitching, small, manageable, all of that. So packing, ugh, not my favorite thing, but honestly, it's not that hard. Just narrow down what I'm taking for stitching, decide if I'm going to have anything to share on the video. I might just be there to cheer you guys on if I don't have anything to take. I've shared it all right now. I don't know how much more I'll get done in the next couple of days. And is that it? I think that's everything. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you all soon.
Welcome back. Thank you again for sticking around and allowing me to share some scripture with you today. I wanted to jump right into a scripture. This was Jesus speaking in John chapter 16, verse 33. And Jesus said, "These things I've spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." The reason I wanted to read that verse first was, as we're going through difficult times, it just seems like the last, couple months, especially, for Kim and myself, and I know that everyone's going through a lot of stuff. We have several very close friends and family, church family, that have gone through some sickness. I had one of my best friends, just 56 years old, just turned 56, and had a quadruple bypass surgery. I came through it great, but again, it was a difficult time. Another very good friend of ours, his mother just diagnosed with class 4 or stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And again, we have a couple more friends that are just going through similar situations, and I've had some brothers at church that passed away. So just a lot going on, a little overwhelming, and I know many of you out there are going through similar things, whether it be sickness or loss or marital issues or financial. But Jesus said, these things are going to happen to us. So, what's really the remedy to that? As a Christian, I know that I can go straight to Jesus Christ. I'm going to read a couple more verses to you. The verse that really has been speaking to me lately over the last couple of weeks is out of the Hebrews chapter 4. It's verses 15 and 16. It says, "For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses," and the high priest being Jesus Christ, "but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin." And this verse 16 is really the key. "Let us therefore come boldly to the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." As a believer in Jesus Christ, I can come straight to him. Jesus Christ being God himself, and he went through so many things here on earth while he was here as a man, no less God, but he went through many things. He prayed to the Father. He says he cried out in tears. He wept. So he knows what we're going through, and that brings me a lot of comfort. And then the other verse I wanted to share was 1 Peter 1, verses 3 and 4. It says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who according to his abundant mercy has begotten us again to a living hope," and that's the key, a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, that does not fade away, reserved in heaven for you. So again, we know that our hope as Christians is that living hope that we're going to see our loved ones that have put their faith in Jesus Christ again. So again, I hope that these verses encourage you. I hope that if you are a believer that and you are going through stuff, as we all are, that again you would turn to him, put it all him. He says, cast our burdens upon me, and not because I care for you. Jesus said that as well. So, and if you're not a believer, I encourage you to put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, because that is where ultimately our hope lies. That's ultimately where our peace lies. And again, going back to John 16, he says that in me, you may have peace. So thank you again for allowing me to share. God bless you all. Have a great day.